First of all, I'm here with Ricky. Ricky, right?
Yep.
For those of you that live in Lebanon, you may have seen him around town.
It's hard to miss me.
Yeah, he's kind of a character, and I've always been very curious about who he was and his backstory, and that's part of the reason why I'm doing this, and also maybe to create a little bit of awareness of people like him aren't dangerous. I mean, you're not dangerous, are you?
Not anymore.
Yeah. Not anymore. Let's start from the beginning. Where are you from?
I was born right here in Lebanon in 1961 at the old hospital on 4th Street. The first 6 years of my life, my 11-year-old sister raised me. I was raised really wild and like crazy. And then they put me in Milton Hershey School, and that was total opposite.
Right, because Milton Hershey School is very structured.
Strict and tight, and if you're in one room and the bathroom is right next door, you want to go to the bathroom, you had to ask permission. Well, I didn't do it. I just go in the bathroom and go anyhow. Get my butt beat and whatever else, and I didn't care. It just didn't even matter to me. I didn't care. But I just didn't see that you had to ask to go to the bathroom. It just didn't make sense to me. It's right there.
Right.
We had to wait till hospital and come in the room, and then you ask permission and you go to the bathroom. I did 7 years in there, and I got out from Milton Hershey, and I was a straight A student. I was really good. Not well behaved. Me and my brother were in trouble all the time. But the way they had you set up, I mean, it was almost designed for you to be a straight A student. I mean, nobody was way down.
Right, they helped you a lot with education.
Oh yeah, the education up there. I had a 7th grade education from Milton Hershey, and I'll tell you what, it was almost like being in college in the 7th grade. I mean, they just had that up, and you were doing division in the 1st grade.
Wow.
And multiplication in the 1st grade and stuff. It was nuts, but it's just the way they did it. You learned it.
Right. So you say you have a sibling. You have a brother.
I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters.
Yeah. And are they still around, or?
Yeah. Got them. I got my 4 children.
Well, I know one of them.
Yeah. Brandon.
Brandon, thank you for introducing me to Ricky. Actually, Kayla, I was talking more to Kayla. Probably is watching this right now. Hi, Kayla. Tell me more about your adult life. What did you do before you ended up here?
Well, I came up here from North Carolina in '77.
So you moved to North Carolina?
Well, I was living down there with my dad. We moved to Florida first, and he let me go nuts. I mean, he let me go wild. It's freaking like Pop. The way I was raised, and now you're letting me do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want. This is crazy. But I came back up here from North Carolina finally in '77, and I had 3 girls in mind that I wanted to hook up with. One of them. 2 of them were already married, and the other one she was a little bit off for me. I didn't dig that, and that's when I met my first wife.
Right.
And naturally, we fell in love, and she got pregnant, and so we got married. And I did 20 years with her, and then it didn't work out.
Was that down in North Carolina?
No, that was here.
You came back here. Okay.
When I came up here. Or Brandon be in North Carolina. No, but it's up here. Everybody's up here.
Right, your family and everything.
And everything. I worked for Carlos Leffler for 13 years, and I made some super money. I mean, I made more money than I ever dreamed about making working for somebody. And
for Leffler?
Yep.
Oh, really? What did you do?
I worked construction for him and drove truck for him, and I did his away jobs, and that's where I made my money.
Right.
And that was one of my downfalls, and then I became an alcoholic in the whole ordeal, and that just really made a mess.
Right. You're making all this money, not saving any of it, just spending it, and
living life.
Living life, partying hard, I guess, right?
Well, it was getting crazy, but Carlos died in '95 in he died of brain tumors. He'd have died in 2006 or '96. The chopper went down.
Oh, really? He was in...
He would have been either, if he wouldn't have died from his brain tumors, he'd have been in that chopper.
Oh, wow.
Well,
what was the chopper?
The chopper used to fly him to he had 13 truck stops, and he owned 14 14 truck stops, 13 terminals. And they flew up to Williamsport Terminal, and they came back from Williamsport Terminal. And that night, I knew it was our chopper, and I heard it cutting in and out. And I thought, what's going on here? There's something wrong. I knew the sound of that chopper. I mean, I could pick it out anywhere. And then I found out the next morning that the chopper went down and everybody got killed.
Wow.
That was in the chopper. But
after that, you lost your job, or?
Everything started falling apart, and in '99, I lost my job, bought one of their trucks, and decided to just do the trucking ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
So I started out working for John Byler, one of the son-in-laws. I made some real good money there, though, too. I mean, he was paying me cash money for my truck. And I was collecting unemployment, which you're not supposed to, but I was doing it.
Right.
It's one of them things. You do.
I think the statute of limitations is up, right?
Yeah, it's well up. That was back in '99. But
so were you still, at that point, you were still an alcoholic, drinking heavily, and?
I was drinking, but not as bad as I was at a time. And you know, I at that point I was floating in and out, in and out, in and out. And then when I got a DUI with my truck, that upset me.
Mm-hmm.
Then I turned around and that was 2003. 2007 I got a DUI with my car, and that just did me. Before I even went to prison, I quit drinking.
Right.
Just totally just stopped.
Right.
And in prison, guys figure out how to make alcohol.
Really?
And it's like they were making vodka out of potatoes.
Well, that's what vodka's made from, but they actually took potatoes in the prison and turned it into vodka.
They turned it into vodka.
Wow. Here in Lebanon.
No, still School County. Well,
School
Lebanon, I don't think they'd be able to do it.
Okay, School County.
It was
A little more.
it was strict to a point, unstrict, and a lot of other things.
You could probably pay off a card or something to look the other way.
Well, we had one guy. He was a bad alcoholic. He used to have 32 little containers that you had iced tea and lemonade and stuff in, and that's what he made his whiskey in.
Wow. In iced tea containers.
Yep.
Wow.
He used to have them under his bed, and he got caught a couple times. They put him in the hole, and he'd get back over there, and just like that, he had that many containers again, and he'd start right back up. But he's probably dead by now.
Right.
But I'm sure he's out of prison, and if he's out of prison, I guarantee he's dead, because he'd killed himself with alcohol.
Oh, jeez.
He was just that bad. And
so you went to prison for how long?
I did. I got a DUI. The first round was 25 and a half months. I come back here. I transferred from over there in Schuylkill over to Lebanon, and I got messed up in a bad situation with a girl, and it caused me a lot of grief. And then I ended up getting in trouble through that, and then they made me max out my prison sentence, and I did 4 years, 9 3/4 months.
Oh my.
For a DUI where I should have did 3 months.
Right.
And that was not good.
What year was that?
It was 2008 to 2013.
Okay.
And I got out, and I wasn't interested in drinking and stuff like that. And I went to an AA meeting, and they kicked me out of the AA meeting because the way I was dressed, and it's freaking like, that did it.
They kicked you out of an AA meeting for the way you were dressed?
For the way I was dressed.
Huh.
Yep, out on 10th Street. They kicked me out of the meeting. Okay. It went about 2 weeks, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to try to social drink, see how this works. And everybody says, it ain't never going to work, never going to work.
Right.
Well, to this day, I got 18 months social drinking. I drink 3 to 7 beers at a pop, and that's maybe once or twice a week if I'm lucky.
Right.
And now it's been 4 months I haven't had a beer.
Right. When you transferred over to Lebanon and then you got out, where were you living? What was your situation?
I was living in a rooming place over on Walnut Street.
Okay. Who set you up with that?
I had money. I had work release in prison over in Schuylkill.
Okay.
So I set that up. Well, then I hurt myself right away. Hurt my leg. They put me on welfare disability and would give me $268 a month. I said, I can't even pay for my room. This is ridiculous. Yeah. Now what do? I said, I got food stamps. I guess I'll sell them. Oh, you can't sell them. You'll get in trouble. Da, 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 da. Well, how am I supposed to pay for a $320 room on $268? I can't do it. So I moved out of the room, back out in the street. When you're on parole, you're not supposed to be on the street.
Right.
You got to have a legit address.
Wow.
Well, I didn't. Well, then they sent me back to prison. I went through a whole rigmarole there. If they don't have a gag down one for you in 28 business days, they got to release you. And they did. They released me back out. And
what year? When was that about? What year?
that was 2010.
Okay.
Then I got that jam up with that girl.
Right,
and,
right,
and
okay.
It caused more grief, and I went back, and then they revoked my parole and made me max my sentence out.
And now you've been
I'm
clear
maxed
since?
out.
Right.
I'm clear since 2013.
Where are you living now?
Right now, I'm with my oldest son. I was on the street.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the street for 5 months now, and my oldest son finally said to me, "Dad, just come sleep on the sofa."
Okay.
He's good with that, and it's like,
Good.
well, okay. I wasn't really liking it because I have nothing to give him to stay there, and he don't care.
Right. How long were you actually living on the streets?
5 months.
5 months. In here in Lebanon?
Yep.
That's relatively...
I was sleeping behind my church. They told me I can't sleep behind the church. It was crazy. I'd wake up in the morning, it was 13 degrees outside.
During the winter?
Well, in March 6th on, it went till, I'm going to say towards the end of May, till it actually started getting warm enough that you could sleep and actually sleep comfortably, that it was 40 degrees at night and stuff like that.
Right, right.
But,
so right now, as of now, you do have a bed. You're not on the streets.
I sleep on my son's sofa.
Okay. Well, you have a roof over your head.
I don't know how long that's going to work. I had another place to go, a storage shed thing to go to, but it's behind some houses, and they were watching me a little bit, and I was glad when my son said about coming over to his place, because I wanted to back off from that place. Because you don't want to get jammed up. If you get jammed up, they'll tell you can't go there no more.
Right, right.
And you need a place that's dry.
Right, right.
And
so
I had another place down off of 12th Street that was dry, but you had to sleep on a pile of stones.
Right. What are you working, or are you able to work? Are you still on? I see you're occasionally grabbing your knee there. Are you still
I'm
injured?
on disability. I should get almost $2,700 disability. I did 5 years in prison. They gave me $730.
Oh, jeez.
And you can't make it on $730. You can't do it. And
Right.
it's just
tough.
not jiving. I owed people some money, and I've been trying to get the people that I owed. A lot of people owe me money and ain't paying me.
Right.
Imagine that.
Right.
And I owed some people, and I'm trying to catch these people up. And now I ended up in the end. I was getting help with my electric bill from Dollar Energy, and now with MedEd, I messed up in the end of that, and now they want a back pay
Right.
of what I owed, and it's
Right.
like, you gotta be kidding me.
Right.
So now I gotta try and pay that. That'll be August money. I'll be gone with that. So hopefully in September I can get an actual room.
Right. Right.
Because I'd be more comfortable being on my own.
All right. Well, I'm very curious about life on the streets here in Lebanon. Would you be willing to show, like, where you slept when you were homeless, and kind of, and just kind of give me like how you survived? how did you stay?
You just do it.
Do it.
Nobody ever bothered me.
Right. Where would you be sleeping if you were out on the streets today? Like,
I used to sleep in that retention pond every now and then.
where?
Right in that retention pond. Right over that bank is a retention pond. Right here.
Right here. Oh, right here, right next to the
Yep.
Y. Here,
You
let
go
me-
right up over that bank, and
There's a retention pond right there. He'd sleep right in there.
there's a tree over there I used to sleep under, but now there's a guy lays there on a park bench, and he drives me nuts. There's a guy I'm having problems with.
Oh, really?
The guy has a job, and he lives on the street.
Really?
Now, come on.
How's that possible?
I don't know how that's possible, and he works where I used to work, and he's in the shipping department, and he must make more money than I was making. And it's
Right.
like,
Right.
if I could have, I picked up that job back in February of this year. I had pending charges. They sent it to my job that I had pending charges, and they fired me on the spot. It's like, now I'm trying to get off a disability. Now you just ruined that. Then I found out, because of what they did, now it's going to go another 7-8 months, maybe longer, till I can get a job, till all my paperwork goes through all the channels out there.
Sheesh.
The FBI, the CIA, I mean, they were telling me people that got a chat. I said, well, what? You act like I'm a terrorist or something. This is crazy.
Right, right,
But, I'm nothing like that at all. I mean, what is going on here?
right.
I took back to my job paperwork from the courthouse that I was dismissed on my charges, innocent on all 3 charges, with a state seal on it, and the judge signed in the seal, wrote a little note on the bottom and signed a note, and they said that ain't gonna be good enough.
Wow.
You can't have your job back. It's like, this is crazy. Now I could have got out of this making $700. I could have made almost $1,200 a month.
Right.
Now, you know, I was trying to better myself and I get knocked down, and that's basically what's happening in my life right now. I'm just keeping bashed and bashed and bashed.
Right.
And it's just like, when is it enough? I turned in paperwork late for my food stamps.
Mm-hmm.
They cut $85 out of my food stamps. It's like, listen, I need this stuff to live. I'm trying to survive out here and you're robbing me.
Right.
You know, they're taking everything away from me, and it's like, this isn't cool.
Can you tell me, I'm just curious about your jewelry, your trinkets.
This is my Indian stuff.
Your Indian stuff. Is that your background, or?
I have Chiricahua Comanche in me, which is Cherokee and Apache.
So what does that mean? Can you explain? Or?
This has no real meaning.
No real meaning? Just for fashion?
It's kind of me. The blue eyes, the nose, and there's the mouth.
And the braids.
The braids are all, girls would give me braids and ask me to please put them on my headband.
Really?
And it's like, the first one I did it was like a 13 or 14-year-old girl, and I said, yeah, I don't know about all this. And I watched them braid her hair, and she snipped it off and handed it to me, and she said, please put this in your headband.
Really?
I said, you're out of your mind. No, please put it in your headband, so I did it.
Okay. All right, so we are at 12th and Cumberland. This is the old box factory, and Ricky says that he used to sleep back here because it was kind of a dry place, and it sounds like an important thing is to stay dry, right?
Yeah.
That's how you survive, because if you're wet, you're probably gonna get cold and miserable and hyperthermia and all that nasty stuff. This is actually interesting because I used to do photos back
here.
Right in here. And show me, like, where? Like
Right there.
on the ground
You
here.
actually see, you see the spot right there. The stones are ruffled up.
Uh-huh. Right here.
Right there. Where he used to sleep.
Right on the floor, right on the ground. Did you have like a blanket or anything? Blanket? This is one of his beds. And they didn't bother you, or the owners?
I'd get out of here early in the morning so I didn't have to bother with them.
Right. When you're not with your son, during the day, what do you do?
Just mainly walk around.
Well, I sometimes see, it sounds like you're talking to somebody, or you're talking to the cars, or you don't seem like...
I talk to relieve my mind.
Right.
I just
So you're
talk to talk.
You just talk.
When I'm talking, it's just talking.
I see you also have a phone.
Yeah.
Right now you're making contact
With the guy that he set me up with a storage shed ordeal to stay in there for a little bit, and and now I got to help him do some work.
Some work. So what kind of you do a couple odd jobs to help take care of?
I don't think it's going to pay anything. It's just it's a job just because of where I was at.
Right. Are you trying to get off your son's couch? Is that why you're gonna stay at the shed, or?
For right now, I'm gonna stay at my son's couch. It's a regular place, and I got people around me to talk to.
Right. And you just don't know how long that's gonna last.
I don't know how long it's gonna last. You never know.
Right. So the shed is kind of a backup.
Back up or right here.
Right here. This is your favorite place to stay because it's dry.
Any place that's dry is good. I have a buddy that's out here in the street, and he lays in the rain.
Lays in the rain.
I said, you're out of your freaking mind. I said, there's different places to go, and I told him a couple of the ones that I stayed at occasionally. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna say where they're at because you ain't supposed to be there.
Right.
I said, go there. I mean, just stay dry.
Right.
Well, the cops coming around there. Well, I don't know what to tell you with that. I mean, go lay under a tarp.
When you're sleeping here, do you sleep well? I mean, I would imagine that it's hard to actually fall asleep. I mean, or do you get used to it? Or?
I drove truck for a lot of years, and I can live off an hour's sleep.
Right.
I don't like it anymore. I'm getting older, and now I like more sleep. But
right. What is the hardest part about being homeless? What's the toughest part in living on the streets in Lebanon?
I don't know what to say there. I mean, it's just all in all, it's not cool.
Not cool.
You're dirty a lot.
Yeah.
I don't like being dirty. You're dirty a lot. I go to Brandon's once a week normally and take a shower and shave and stuff. Now I can shave out there at Nick's, which would be nice because I don't like hair on my face anymore.
Right.
So now I can shave out at Nick's, which would be nice. But
okay. All right. Well, I'm glad to see that you at least have some place to go right now, and you're trying to set yourself straight.
My life is either up here or down here, and right now it's down here, and I just can't find a way out of my rut. It's just there. I'm there.
Right. You're just kind of stuck.
And it's just right now. I ain't gonna say stuck because there's always a way out if you find it.
Right. Right.
But
so
you
yeah,
gotta find it.
You do have a positive outlook.
Yeah, you gotta do something. You can't just. This for me, I mean, there's people in New York City, they live like this, and they were actually real high ups in some businesses. They lost their jobs and stuff and ended up on the street, and they actually enjoy being on the street because they don't have to pay for nothing. And it's like, no, man. I mean, how about going out and getting that steak every now and then? How about
right.
You
wouldn't mind having a steak every once in a while, right?
Oh, yeah. It'd be real sweet to get something enjoyable to eat.
Okay. Well, do you have any, I guess, words that you want to tell people? Is there a message that you need to that you want to send out? Anything you want to say to anybody that might be watching this?
Try not to go there.
As far as drinking? Or
no, as far as being homeless, just try not to get there. Try and do whatever you got to do to stay away from this.
Right. It's not a good life. It's not a fun life.
It's not as fun at all. There's no enjoyment to it. I mean, you might laugh every now and then and stuff like that. When you talk to somebody, you might laugh a little bit, but it's not the same.
Right.
That's been everything. When I worked at Lefler's and everything was going good, I could laugh and have a great time, and there was always something to look forward to. Now, in this situation, there's nothing to look forward to. Tomorrow.
It's another day.
And it's just another day and another day and another day, and it's already 5 months, and I'm going to be in this shoe next month yet. I see it coming. But then September, I hopefully can get a room and try and start rebuilding.
All right. Well, Ricky, I appreciate you sharing my story. You're okay with me sharing your story?
Yeah.
Okay.